Zombies are one of the scariest monsters to have ever been created. They are husks of human beings who lose their entire personalities and become creatures who eat their fellow humans. Just a single bite from a zombie, and that's it. Say goodbye to your humanity. These horrific monsters often don't really get the bone-chilling films they deserve. Don't get me wrong, I love the mainstream zombie horrors as much as the other guy, but I always find them lacking a certain X factor. The zombie media recommendations I am about to give you are so dark and disturbing that they bring a whole new meaning to the zombie genre. So buckle up, grab your binge list, and make sure to keep the lights on, or these movies are going to scare the bejeesus out of you. The sadness. If gore is what you look for in horror movies, the 2021 Taiwanese film The Sadness is for you. The film is about the alvin virus, which spreads from person to person through their bodily fluids and hijacks their brain's limbic system. The affected person would then develop an overwhelming and aggressive need to act out their most sadistic and violent impulses. They don't lose any of their intelligence or speech though. Oh, they are not traditional zombies, but incredibly similar. Scientists in Taiwan try to warn the government the virus will mutate and lead to disaster, but the government is so concerned about their re-election that they downplay the threat of the virus. The result is the rapid spreads. We follow Jim and his girlfriend Kat as the virus starts claiming people around them, and they are forced to preserve their humanity as the world around them descends into a bloody orgy. The Sadness has been written, directed, and edited by Rob Jabaz, and stars Regina Leigh and Barrett Zhu. Jabaz's directorial debut could not have been more gory. This film is definitely not for the faint-hearted. It has some of the most violent scenes of abuse, mutilation, and murder I have ever seen. The film uses very little CGI and relies mostly on practical effects, which makes the scenes even more believable. The violence is extreme, but the film justifies it. If you want a completely bonkers, nihilistic gore fest and can keep what you ate down while watching body horror, put on The Sadness. Crossed. Next up, we have the comic book series that inspired The Sadness, Crossed. Published from 2008 to 2010, Crossed was published by Avatar Press, created by Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. The core concept of both Crossed and The Sadness is the same, with just one tiny change. The virus in the Crossed series is called C virus, and it turns people into bloodthirsty maniacs. But whoever has the virus gets a cross-shaped rash on their face, earning them the moniker Crossed. Think about all the worst crimes a human is capable of committing. Now, imagine everyone around you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, every single one of them committing all the crimes at once. That is the kind of chaos Crossed explores. The original series of Crossed follows a small group of survivors trying to escape the infected to reach Alaska, which they believe to be a sanctuary from the Crossed. Crossed was so popular that it spawned a whole franchise with several sequels written by different artists, including Alan Moore and David Lapham. If you have ever wondered how extreme graphic novels can really get, you have to check out Crossed. Nothing is off limits in Crossed, as Ennis leads you on a gut-wrenching journey. The comic book series is not edgy for the sake of it. It has intriguing plot lines and expert characterization with the brand of violence Ennis has mastered. Rabbid. There are very few directors in Hollywood who have completely mastered a genre, and one of them is David Cronenberg. If anyone knows visceral body horror, it's Cronenberg. His take on zombies is the 1977 film Rabbid. Again, this is not the traditional zombie story, but it is interesting anyway. The plot follows Rose Miller, who gets in a terrible motorcycle accident with her boyfriend, Hart Reed, in the Quebec countryside. While Hart gets away with a concussion and a fracture, Rose is severely burned and injured. Dr. Dan Keloid, the surgeon who treats her, uses morphogenetically neutral grafts to treat her damaged skin and organs. This experimental treatment, as you might expect, not go well. Rose mutates because it grows a red stinger under her armpit and needs human blood to survive. Whoever she drinks from turns into a zombie-like creature who can infect others with their bite. As Rose goes around infecting people, it's up to Hart to stop her. One of the highest-grossing pictures of all time in Canada, Rabbid was written and directed by David Cronenberg and has Marilyn Chambers, Joe Silver, and Frank Moore as its cast. Though the film might seem like just another body horror, A closer look will tell you how rich it is with political themes. Rabbid is a strong commentary against police tyranny and martial law, but that doesn't mean Cronenberg has compromised even a tiny bit on the horror aspects of the film. True to its name, Rabbid has beastly violence. It's an underrated gem and a must-watch if you like gritty, effective films with good acting. Dead Set. Before Charlie Brooker created the acclaimed modern satirical Netflix show Black Mirror, he was responsible for a miniseries called Dead Set that aired in 2008. In the 5-episode series, a zombie epidemic begins to spread all over the UK, with the fast-moving human-eating zombies attacking all and sundry. The only safe place is the set of the reality show Big Brother, and the contestants inside stay oblivious about the horrors happening outside. On eviction night, the live audience is infected by a zombie, and soon the Big Brother house is threatened as well. Despite this whole crisis, the Big Brother live feed is still broadcast on the E4 channel, allowing whoever has survived a glimpse into the very real, very high-stakes reality show. Brooker based the fictional contestants on real-life contestants of Big Brother, and even visited a live eviction for inspiration. The show was filmed completely on the Big Brother set. Directed by Jan de Mange, Dead Set is a fantastic low-budget production. Each episode is filled to the brim with graphic gore and zombie violence, but that doesn't mean the show isn't multi-layered. It has well-rounded characters, sly commentary, and an undoubtedly original concept. You've got to check it out if you like 28 Days Later or Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead. After the success of the 1978 zombie horror Dawn of the Dead, writer-director George A. Romero started work on the sequel, Day of the Dead. Romero wrote a highly ambitious script that he described as the Gone with the Wind of zombies. But the script went through a lot of edits as the film's distributors, United Film Distribution Company, was concerned about the rating it would receive. But Romero wasn't the least bit bothered about that and released the film without a rating. Unlike other zombie films that start at the beginning of an outbreak, Day of the Dead opens 7 years after the zombie outbreak we saw in Dawn of the Dead. It focuses on a secure underground missile bunker in the Florida Everglades, where a bunch of scientists, soldiers, and survivors live and try to make sense of their new normal. There is tension amidst everyone. Dr. Sarah Bowman wants to look for a cure to turn zombies back into humans, while lead scientist Dr. Logan is more focused on domestication and training of zombies. Captain Rhodes, the mean-spirited and unstable self-appointed leader of the group, has no patience for the scientists and vehemently opposes the scientists' zombie research. Meanwhile, the helicopter pilot John thinks the zombie outbreak is a divine retribution and they should fly off to some island, leaving the soldiers behind, and restart life peacefully. As tensions grow, one of Logan's zombies escapes, resulting in complete bedlam. Who will make it out alive, and who will succumb to the outbreak? Watch the movie to find out. Day of the Dead is a vicious and intense zombie thriller, and arguably the best entry in the Night of the Living Dead trilogy. The special makeup effects of Tom Savini steal the show, and the bleak truth about humanity, that our downfall will be the intolerance we have for one another, and not some scary monster, will haunt your sleep for days to come. Black Summer. What would you do if you survived a zombie apocalypse? That is the question the 2019 series Black Summer is trying to answer. This Netflix show is a spin-off of the sci-fi show Z Nation, but it is not at all lighthearted and funny like its predecessor. The show revolves around Rose, a devoted mother who is separated from her daughter Anna. It has been 6 weeks since the start of the zombie apocalypse, and Rose is forced to band together with strangers to ensure her own survival. Her group includes Julius James, a criminal who killed a soldier and assumed his identity, Woo Sun Kyung-sun, a Korean woman looking for her mother, and Lance, a young survivor without any family. As she braves a hostile new world with this ragtag group of survivors, Rose has no choice but to make brutal decisions if she intends to meet her daughter ever again. Starring Jamie King, Justin Chu Carey, and Christine Lee, Black Summer was created by John Hyams and Carl Schaefer. The show is a bit slow-moving at times, but the suspense will keep you on the edge of your seat. Black Summer gives us various points of view throughout the show. I have to admit, though, some of the decisions the characters take are not very smart and will have you shouting at your TV screen. The frustration aside, Black Summer is worth the watch if you like your zombie shows with more action and less drama. Train to Busan. Finally, we are going to talk about my favorite zombie movie of all time, Train to Busan. I will admit that this is not as dark as the other entries on this list, but it will pull at your heartstrings and have you biting your nails all the same. Starring Gong Yoo, Jung Yoo Mi, and Ma Dong-suk, Train to Busan is a Korean film directed by Yoon Sang-ho. As you can expect from the title, Train to Busan is about a group of people on the KTX 101 traveling from Seoul to Busan. The main focus is on Soo-an, a young girl who is growing distant from her divorced father, Sok-woo, as he is a workaholic who can't make time for her. They are traveling to Busan to see her mother, Na-young. The train has a lot of other passengers, including a high school basketball team, a pregnant woman and her husband, and 2 elderly sisters. As a zombie outbreak plagues Korea, an infected woman enters the train and starts biting the people inside. With zombies taking over half the train, the only hope for survivors is to make it to Busan, where there is a quarantine zone set up for survivors. The reason I like this film is because of the way it explores different human emotions and characteristics. Just like there are people willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, there are also selfish people who would sell the world for a dime if it meant they could live peacefully. The zombies are pretty creepy too, and the filmmakers ensured it by casting mostly dancers and contortionists as zombies. This is easily one of the best zombie films ever made. You can't really call yourself a fan of zombie movies if you have not watched Train to Busan. 68. You didn't think we would include just one comic series in the list and call it a day, did you? 68 is a comic book series that initially tells the story of just 2 days, February 13 and 14 in 1968. And no, it's not a Valentine's Day heartwarmer. These 2 days are the very beginning of a zombie outbreak in the United States and Vietnam. It's smack dab in the middle of the Vietnam War, and there is civil unrest. Protests increase in the US against the war, with period-appropriate references and plastic six charm. 68 is a bloody thrill in the most literal sense of the word. The comic book series has blood and entrails strewn across all the panels. It is relatively unknown though, which is why I take great pleasure in bringing it to you. You are welcome. The comic book series was published by Image Comics. It was written by Mark Kidwell, the same guy who created Bump and Frank Frazetta's Dark Kingdom. The series was marketed as a bunch of limited series and one-shots, starting with the eponymous 4-issue miniseries. 5 more 4-issue miniseries were released consecutive, titled Scars, Jungle Gym, Rule of War, Homefront, and Last Rites, along with 6 one-shots. So, you have enough comics to last you at least a month. I recommend it to everyone who is a history buff and has wondered how the zombies would fare in the 60s. The Night Eats the World. A young musician named Sam enters his ex-girlfriend Fanny's house to collect the music tapes he had left with her. Fanny is not able to attend to him as she's hosting a party and asks him to take the tapes, which are in the office. On the way to the office, Sam bumps into a partygoer and starts bleeding from his nose. He passes out in the office and sleeps through the night. When he wakes up in the morning, he is shocked to see that Fanny and her guests have all turned into zombies, and the only safe place for him is her apartment, which is several stories up. The zombies make no noise and seemingly have no voice, but attack whenever they hear any noise. Sam's attempt at staying alive, to not lose his mind while he fortifies himself in the apartment, and his life in a zombie world, is the plot of the 2018 film The Night Eats the World. The Night Eats the World was directed by Dominique Roche and stars Anders Danielsen Lee, Denis Lavan, and Golshifta Farahani. The film offers a unique perspective on the zombie genre. Usually, we see a group of people or sometimes a couple trying to navigate a zombie apocalypse, but here, Sam is all alone. It is a good insight into what loneliness and isolation do to human beings, who are inherently social animals, and sheds light on the importance of community. The Night Eats the World is dark, not just because of the blood and gore, but also the psychological dread it explores. If you have ever wondered what it would feel like to be the last person in an apocalypse, and like movies with substance, make sure to add it to your watch list. Savage Land. Do you like found footage movies? What about conspiracy theories and whodunits? Imagine all 3 of them rolled into one thrilling zombie movie, and you have the 2015 mockumentary Savage Land. The small town of Sangre de Cristo, Arizona is witness to a brutal massacre on the night of June 2, 2011. Corpses of the residents are dismembered and covered in bite marks, and the only survivor is the town handy Francisco Salazar, who was trying to escape to Mexico. A loner and a drifter like Salazar trying to escape a crime scene is pretty indicative of guilt, and it also does not help his case that there are rumors of Salazar having inappropriate relationship with Grace Putt, the religious missionary Dwayne's young daughter. Salazar himself is not really that hell-bent on proving his innocence. The authorities and journalists working the case are in for the surprise of a lifetime when they find the camera roll Salazar used to document the events of the dreadful June night. Simon Herbert, Phil Guidry, and David Whalen came up with the idea of Savageland when they were all working at UCLA and wanted to write an independent film instead of writing a spec script and hoping a studio would like it. Inspired by the thrillers they liked, they wanted to do a film along those lines with an immigration angle added to it. Just because it is a mockumentary does not mean it's any less intense. The photographs Salazar took are so disturbing that they might snatch away your sleep. Film is not without its faults, but the unique concept is worth watching. And these are 10 of the most disturbing pieces of zombie media that stay with you for a while. I hope they are dark enough for your taste. Let me know in the comments below if I missed any of your favorite zombie media, and I will make sure to include it in the next video. If you liked this one, you can let me know by tapping that thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications to never miss a video from this awesome channel. I will soon be back with more amazing stuff, but until then, goodbye, good night, and don't let the zombies bite.